This video, we are going to look through some examples on solving quadratic equation by the method of factorization. So we have three examples here. We are going to go through them. So our first example, we have 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 equal to 0. So let's deal with that one. So we have 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 equal to 0. So the first thing we are supposed to do is to multiply the coefficient of x squared by the constant. So the coefficient of x squared is 3. So we are going to multiply it by negative 2 and we are going to get negative 6. So now our constant is negative 6. So now we are going to find factors of 6, both positive and negative factors of 6. And through those numbers, we are going to look for two numbers that if we add or we subtract, we get negative 5. Then if we multiply those two numbers, we get um negative 6. So factors of 6, we have 1, 2, 3, and 6. And for the negative factors, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 6. So from here, we are looking for two numbers that if we add or we subtract those two numbers, we are going to get negative 5. And if we multiply, we are getting negative 6. So we see here that negative 6 and 1. Let's take negative 6 and 1. Negative 6 times 1. Negative 6 times positive 1 will give us negative 6. So we've gotten negative 6. Then negative 6 plus positive 1 will give us negative 5. So it means the two factors we need to solve this question is negative 6 and 1. Because negative 6 times 1 will give us negative 6, and negative 6 plus 1 will give us negative 5. So we are going to write negative 5x in terms of these two factors. So now our equation is going to be 3x squared minus 6x plus x minus 2. So we've literally not done anything to the equation because negative 6x plus x is still negative 5. We just want to write it in a way that will make solving our equation easy. So for this one, we are going to take two terms at a time, then we find the common factor. So for these two terms, the common factor between these two terms is 3x. Now if we factor 3x out, it will be left with x here minus, now 3x is out, so it will be left with 2 plus, now the common factor here is 1, but because it's 1 we don't write, so here will still be x minus 2. So there is a 1 here we don't write. Now between these two expressions here, the common factor between the two expressions is x minus 2. Now, if you bring x minus 2 here, what is left here is what? 3x. Then if you bring x minus 2 out, what will be left here? Positive 1, so plus 1, equal to 0. So from here, we say that x minus 2 is equal to 0, which means that x is equal to 2. Then 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. So 3x is equal to negative 1. So x is equal to negative 1 over 3. So the two values of x that we've gotten are 2 and negative 1 over 3. So we are going to put 2 and negative 1 over 3 into this equation if we are going to get 0. So if we put 2 into the equation, we are going to get 3 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2 minus 2. Now 3 times 2 squared is 4, minus 5 times 2 is 10, then minus 2. 3 times 4 is 12, minus 10 minus 2. So 12 minus 10 is 2. Minus 2 will give us 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So we are getting this one to give us 0, which shows that 2 is correct. So the value of x is 2 is correct. Now let's put negative 1 over 3 into this equation and see if we are going to get 0. So for that one, we are going to get 3 times negative 1 over 3 squared minus 5 times negative 1 over 3 minus 2. Now, negative 1 over 3 squared is going to give us positive 1 over 9. Negative 1 over 3 squared is positive 1 over 9 minus 5 times negative 1 over 3 is going to give us negative 5 over 3 minus 2. Now, 3 times 1 over 9 is going to give us 1 over 3 because 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then negative 1 times negative 5 over 3 is going to give us positive 5 over 3 minus 2. 1 over 3 plus 5 over 3, since they have the same denominator, we can just add the numerator. So you're going to get 6 over 3 minus 2. And 6 over 3 is 2. So 2 minus 2 is what? 0, which also shows that negative 1 over 3 is a value of x for the equation. Now, let's move on to the next example. The next example is x squared plus 4x equal to 0. So x squared plus 4x squared plus 4x equal to 0. It's still a quadratic equation because we said a quadratic equation has the degree of the highest degree of the independent variable is 2. So it's a quadratic equation. Since it's made up of only two terms, let's try and see if we can factorize from here. Now from here, we see x here, we see x squared here. So we can say that the common factor here is x. Then we have, now if we bring x out from here, to be left with x here, then here to be left with 4. So equal to 0. So now from here, we can say that x is equal to 0 and x plus 4 is equal to 0, which implies that x is equal to negative 4. So let's put x is equal to 0 and x is equal to negative 4 into this equation if we are going to get 0. Now if we put in 0, we are going to get 0 squared plus 4 times 0. 0 squared is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 0 is going to give us 0. So it means that 0 is correct. Let's check for negative 4. Negative 4 squared plus 4 times negative 4. Now negative 4 squared is positive 16 plus 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And positive 16 plus negative 16 is going to give us 0, which also implies that negative 4 is a value of x. So now the next question is x squared minus 9 equal to 0. So let's solve that one. So we have x squared minus 9 equal to 0. So for this one, we can use difference of squares to factorize this. So we can factorize this as x plus 3 and x minus 3 equal to 0. So this can be written as x squared minus 3 squared equal to 0. And we can factorize by difference of squares by this. Now from here, we can say that x plus 3 is equal to 0, which implies that x is equal to negative 3. And x minus 3 is equal to 0, which implies that x is equal to positive 3. So let's try and put our values into the equation if you are going to get 0. So if we put negative 3 into the equation, we are going to get negative 3 squared minus 9 equal to, now negative 3 squared is positive 9 minus 9 is going to give us what? 0. So this will give us 0. Let's also put positive 3 into our equation and see what we are going to get. So positive 3 squared minus 9 equal to 0. So you are going to get 9 minus 9 equal to 0. 9 minus 9 is giving us 0. Positive 3 squared minus 9 is 0. So which implies that our values we've gotten for x are the same. But for this question, somebody could have also said that if x squared minus 9 is equal to 0, then let me move on to the next page. Then if x squared minus 9 is equal to 0, then x squared is equal to positive 9. So x will be equal to root of 9 plus or root of plus or minus 9. So it means our x is going to be plus or minus root of 9 is 3. So which is positive 3 and negative 3 as we got from our previous solution. So that is it for today. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye.